Hello and welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World, and a happy Wednesday from everybody here at Prime Sports World. On today's episode of the show, we're going to give you our Week 8 fantasy football rankings. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like what we're doing here at Prime Sports World. Also, if you're watching the show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, you got some questions for the panelists here, please drop those down in the comments section. We will go through them as we go through the show. I'm, of course, your host, David On Point Huffin right there, Mr. Israel Rivera. Welcome to the show, my friend. Happy Hump Day, brother.
Happy Hump Day, ladies and gentlemen. We are one more week in the books and another week on the horizon.
How did you do in fantasy this week?
I was 1-3. I'm surprised I was even 1-3 because I squeaked by a thin margin in the league I won. So that's all it's about. Got some help with a couple guys off my bench. I got some help from the other team not scoring as much, and I had to go to my bench. But there were some guys that I did draft or that I did pick up on a waiver. Like Arondé Gadsden.
Yeah.
I called that last week, ladies and gentlemen. He was my pickup in fantasy on FanDuel for the cheapskis. And he went off at the tight end position.
So, and I also don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so about Justin Fields.
Yes. Yes. Got benched. But you know what's crazy is that he might start this week, even though he got benched.
I don't think.
Yeah, because Tyrod Taylor's
injured.
Yeah,
he's a little banged up. We'll see. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about week number 8. Obviously, as I mentioned, if you got some comments, got some questions, leave that down in the comment section as we go through the show. Let's first start with how we start every week lately. Let's talk about some injuries because we had some bad luck in the National Football League so far this season. Now, let's first talk about Jaden Daniels. Monday night, not going to play against the Kansas City Chiefs. Dealing with that hamstring injury. He's day-to-day. He's for sure not playing on Monday, so we'll see what ends up like his path forward is. Here's some guys you can pick up if you're looking for just somebody for the week. Obviously, Marcus Mariota, his immediate backup, becomes somebody that you can plug and play and start. And then I do like Michael Penix Jr. I think that's a pretty good matchup against the Miami Dolphins, who have not been good at all so far this season. And then Tyrod Taylor, I know he's dealing with some injury stuff there, but he's going up against a bad Bengals defense. So if Tyrod Taylor gets the start and you're looking for somebody to plug and play because you don't have Jaden Daniels, Tyrod Taylor is an option for you. And then Bryce Young, he's week to week right now with a high ankle sprain. Going to probably miss. He's going to for sure miss this week. And then we'll see what happens to him going forward. Andy Dalton is his immediate backup, so if you're looking for somebody to plug and play and start. And then I got Penix Jr., Tyrod Taylor, and then Carson Wentz, is going to start again for the Minnesota Vikings this week. Is J.J. McCarthy still not ready to go? And Carson Wentz has been okay as the starter for this football team. So if you're looking for somebody to plug and play, you can also go with Carson Wentz. For the Minnesota Vikings. Then Mike Evans, obviously devastating injury for him, broken collarbone. His fantasy season is hereby over. He still has potential to come back in the actual playoffs for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if they make it. So that's just a devastating loss. I mean, if you drafted Mike Evans, he had 2 really good weeks, and then he went down with injury, missed a bunch of weeks, came back for 1 game, probably started him, got injured in the first game back. So just hate to see it. So here's some options. Sterling Shepard, Tez Johnson, who's got a touchdown in back-to-back weeks. Kind of looks like the guy there right now, especially since Emeka Ibuka is kind of dealing with a little bit of an injury himself and kind of looked more as just a decoy guy on Monday night. I don't know if that's just game flow stuff. And then Kate Otten always seems to step up when Mike Evans goes out. Nico Collins, if you did not catch the end of that Texans Seahawks game, which I can understand, did not end until was it 1 a.m. your time? Something like that?
Yeah, it was.
Because it didn't kick off here until 7 o'clock. So it means it didn't kick off there until
9 p.m. So it was done by about midnight, 12:30.
Yeah. But he got banged up. He had a concussion, was immediately ruled out of that game, did not return. But that game was over, so maybe that's just game flow stuff. Some names there: Xavier Higgins, Jaden Higgins, and Jalen Noel, all wide receivers for the Houston Texans, who could be plug-and-play guys for you. And then Darren Waller, unfortunately, injured his pectoral muscle with a strain. He's week to week. If you're looking for somebody to pick up, Greg Dulcich. If you remember Greg Dulcich on the Denver Broncos like 3 years ago, had a good spurt for them briefly. But being honest with you, you're probably going to have to pick up someone from not the Miami Dolphins because their tight end room is not good. So, which is why Darren Waller came out of retirement in the first place, because they didn't have nobody else. They're like, oh, this guy hasn't played 2 seasons. Let's go, Darren Waller. Let's go time, baby.
They just ran him through it like, okay, you can run fast. Can you still jump? Okay. All right, cool. You got the job. You got the job, buddy. One thing you pointed out, Mike Evans, not only is his bad luck for the owners that owned him, but bad luck for Mike Evans because he had how many 1,000-yard?
11 in a row or 10.
11 in a row. That's over with.
That streak's going to get snapped. I don't think he got there last season, but I don't remember.
No, he did. He got 1,000 yards last season. Yeah, he did.
I know he missed some time last year too, but yeah. So, this is a devastating injury for a guy who seems like one of the good guys in the NFL. Just hate to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then out of the wide receivers, in my opinion, who can take the top off the defense is Jalen Noel. Watch out for him. Especially like a cheap option in FanDuel. He'll be available this week, especially if Nico can't go. But other than that, Jaden Daniels, being out, that means that's a great play for the Kansas City Chiefs defense, in my opinion, going against Washington, just FYI. So from some injuries, let's talk about some players that are mostly healthy. Let's swing into those quarterbacks. I got Josh Allen at number 1. I just think he's going to be chomping at the absolute bit to get back onto the football field after 2 disappointing weeks in a row, going up against the Carolina Panthers defense that has gave up some points to opposing quarterbacks. So Josh, not last week, obviously, with Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor, but in the week past with Dak Prescott. Baker Mayfield, number 2, another guy I think is chomping at the bit to get back onto the football field. Going up against New Orleans should be a good bounce back game. I got Lamar at number 3. I got an asterisk next to him. I don't know if he's going to play. I know he returned to practice today, going up against my Chicago Bears with a banged-up defense. So Lamar Jackson, I think, is a pretty safe play. And then for Drake May, he's a must-start in all formats. Patrick Mahomes, the second front-runner for the MVP if the award was given out today, going up against the Washington Commanders. Justin Herbert, I know the Chargers came up short, but he put up crazy numbers in fantasy. I think he had damn near 30 points in that game. Jalen Hurts, a little bit lower on Jalen Hurts, I think the consensus. But I think the Giants, they're going to try to establish that running game with Saquon Barkley. I think it's going to be like a Saquon Barkley game for that game against the Philadelphia Eagles against the Giants. I think Jalen Hurts will get some decent numbers, but I think if you're expecting really gaudy numbers from Jalen Hurts, I think you're going to be mistaken. Number 8, Bo Nix going against that bad Dallas Cowboy defense in the same game. Dak Prescott, who's just been on an absolute tear so far this season. And I know the matchup isn't ideal with the Broncos, but Dak at this point feels matchup proof. Danny Dimes at number 10 going up against the woeful Tennessee Titans. And then my outside looking in, I got Michael Penix Jr. going up against the Miami Dolphins. Tyrod Taylor, if he is a go. Going up against the Cincinnati Bengals, and then Joe Flacco in that same game, going up against his former team in the New York Jets. So I like Joe Flacco there. And then my sneaky day, I got Joe Flacco, obviously at 5,400. I think that's a pretty good matchup for him with the weapons there in Cincinnati, going up against a Jets defense that's been suspect at times. And then Michael Penix Jr. at 4,900, going up against a bad Dolphins team. Which at what time is it? 5:36 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Mike McDaniel still has his job, which is still surprising to me. Yeah, there's a lot of excuses we can give to Mike McDaniel. So, for him being not having a great season, or the Miami Dolphins having a great season, but definitely injuries is one of them, especially due to that big man. That big threat of a wide receiver in Tyreek Hill. Number 1 is
they were bad before.
I know they were bad. I know, David. And this is the reason why he still has a job, because people are giving him excuses, David. Like me. You got people like me that are giving him excuses. Anyways, Patrick Mahomes, we had number one. That offense looks like it's clicking
right
on
now,
all cylinders.
Yeah.
Now that he's got all his weapons back. Rashee Rice came back into the fold. They got Xavier Worthy back healthy a couple weeks back. Now he's got a whole bevy of wide receivers.
Hollywood
now
is playing out of his mind.
Playing out of his mind. Juju Smith-Schuster.
All this is just clicking right now, man.
Everything's clicking. Travis Kelce's even starting to click, and then now you give the ball to Pacheco and Hunt late in the games. I mean, that offense is it's like a whole 180-degree turnaround from the beginning of the season. Number two, Jalen Hurts. I think this is a bit back game. I'm way higher on you than way higher on Jalen Hurts than you are. I just think that with that being, you got to turn that quick turnaround. The Giants were real successful at home, but now you're going to Philly. It's going to be a whole different story. Jalen Carter there, maybe some 3 and outs for that offense. I like Jalen Hurts to have a nice get-back game against those guys in New York, against New York. Number 3, Josh Allen. Like Josh Allen this week. He's definitely a threat going against a weaker defense in Carolina. At number 4, Drake May. Even though going against a tough defense in Cleveland, Drake May has gotten better every single game this season.
Drake May feels like he's matchup proof at this point.
Yeah, he's definitely, me and you have him at the same spot. Matchup proof. Very, very, very good quarterback. So yeah, he's turned up this year. At number 5, Lamar Jackson going up against Chicago. We'll see how that hamstring looks. I don't think they'll have as many run plays for him this week, just because they don't want to re-aggravate that hamstring or whatever injury he's got. I believe that's what it is.
It was a hamstring injury.
Yeah. So I think you'll see a nice game from him passing the football. And that couples in with the running backs next, which we'll talk next with Derrick Henry. And then number 6, we got Baker Mayfield. 7, Bo Nix. That game, going up against the Dallas Cowboys, that game seems like it's going to probably be a shootout between both of those two. I like Bo Nix and Dak Prescott, who's on my outside looking in to have a top 13 type of game. And number 8, Jordan Love, and 9, Aaron Rodgers. Just cause shits and giggles, right?
Aaron Rodgers is going to be like the third player in the history of the league to have a victory against all 32 teams if he wins against Green Bay on Sunday.
That would be an amazing feat, but it's not going to happen. At number 10, David, if it's up to David, he just like both of these guys tie.
That's what we talked about yesterday, man.
Yeah, he's like
I hate Aaron Rodgers, so I actually picked the Packers yesterday in the preview show.
No way!
I hate Aaron Rodgers so much.
Wow. That's how much hate he got for him. Number 10, I got Caleb Williams. Yeah. And then my outside looking in. Go ahead, David. Switch over to the next. I got my slide over here. I got my shit over. At number 11, I got Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, and Joe Flacco as my outside looking in. And then my sticky options in FanDuel are Joe Flacco at 7,300 because he just gets the ball to Jamar Chase, and that's a smart man. And at 7,200, it's Mac Jones as well going up against Houston, who that Houston's defense was not looking so great last week. So
Aaron Rodgers is trying to become the 5th quarterback all time to have beaten every NFL team as the course of his career, joining Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, and Drew Brees, a who's who of pantheon when it comes to the NFL.
That's crazy.
He'll become the 5th. He'll become the 5th guy if he can beat the Packers on Sunday.
That's awesome, man.
From the quarterbacks, let's talk about them running backs. I'll let you go first.
Running backs, yes. Number 1, Bijan Robinson. Yes, Bijan is just he's been the number 1 running back so far this year. Him and Christian McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor. Actually, I don't know. By points wise, might be Jonathan Taylor, right? Because with the touchdowns, correct?
I'll take a look in a second.
It's probably Jonathan Taylor. Anyways, my number 2 is Jonathan Taylor. Just because he's such a touchdown machine.
Chris McCaffrey is actually 1. Jonathan Taylor is 2. Bijan Robinson is at 10.
Is that 10? Well, the first couple weeks of the season, right? I mean, I don't know. Godly. James Cook. We forgot about James Cook. He's been on bye week. Anyways, at number 3, Devon Achane. 4, Christian McCaffrey. 5, James Cook, who I believe might have the league lead still in rushing going into Carolina. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, at number 6, we got Josh Jacobs. 7, Derrick Henry. And I talk about Derrick Henry because having Lamar Jackson back throwing the football, teams aren't going to stack the box as much as they were in the previous few weeks. Going up against Derrick Henry, it's going to open it up a little bit against Chicago. I like Derrick Henry to have a top 10 game, a touchdown, maybe 80 yards. And number 8, Rachaad White. I like him to get a touchdown in this game against New Orleans. Chicago running backs did great last week. Kyle Monangai did great. So did DeAndre Swift, against the Saints. So I like Tampa Bay's running backs to probably do the same thing. Rachaad White. You have the other kid, his backup from Syracuse, Scott Lee's.
It's Sean Tucker.
Sean Tucker. So yeah, like both of those guys will probably get touchdowns. And number 9, Saquon Barkley. We're just hoping that he gets a top 10 game or some type of top 5 game. Hopefully it's this week against his former team. And then round on my top 10 is J.K. Dobbins going up against the Dallas Cowboys. Keep an eye on him a little bit. He's got a lingering injury in a way. So yeah, RJ Harvey might be a play in here, but I like any team going against that Dallas run defense. They thought, getting Kenny Clark in the middle would help sew up the run defense, and they're one of the worst run defenses in the league.
And they're one of the worst defenses, period, in the league.
They're in a track meet every week. So yeah. And then on my outside looking in, I got Javonte Williams, Jaylen Warren going up against the Packers. I don't like their rush defense at all either. And then Breece Lightning Hall going up against the Cincinnati Bengals, which could be an interesting matchup. And then my cheap option in FanDuel is Woody Marks, who got saved last week by almost a garbage touchdown reception in the red zone. So yeah, Woody Marks. He's a guy that's I'm
still not sure if he even caught that. Like it looked like it was.
I don't know. I was happy he caught it because I won $500 on that play. Yeah. So I was like, holy shit. But yeah, Woody Marks definitely saved himself with that receiving touchdown. And then Kyle Monangai, who's the backup running back for the Chicago Bears. I actually could see him getting.
He's used to be getting some of the goal line carries. So
yeah.
Like he's got an opportunity to score every week if they get in close. The Bears seem to be using him as that kind of the bell cow in the goal line area situations. So
at 5,200, super cheap for that. Yeah. If he gets me a touchdown, him and Sean Tucker, I like those guys. They're right around the same price range. I'm
a little bit lower on Sean Tucker than
me too. But the Monangai, yeah.
Because Sean Tucker feels like his usage seems super sporadic because they use Rachaad White in goal to go situations.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So, moving on from your running backs, let's talk about mine. Number 1, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Nobody else can be number 1, man. He's the MVP of the league if the season were to end today. He's been that freaking good. And I can't going up against a bad Titans team. I can't put Jonathan Taylor anywhere but number 1. Chris McCaffrey as well. As long as Brock Purdy continues to be out, which he may return in this game, but I don't really know. The reporting seems extremely wishy-washy about Brock Purdy, but Chris McCaffrey's been this entire offense most of this season. They've relied completely on him. And then 3, Bijan Robinson. Those 3 guys right there, as long as one of them isn't injured or on a bye, they're going to be my top 3 running backs for the remainder of the season. Like that's the threshold right there. They're the pantheon. Like those 3 guys, and then everybody else is chasing them. For Saquon Barkley, I think this is my opinion. I think this is going to be his get right game, going up against his former team in Philadelphia. So I think if he's not going to get right in this game, he'll never get right this season. And if you used an early pick on him, I'm sorry. Number 5, James Cook, the third, coming off kind of 2 mediocre games in a row. Look for him to bounce back in this one against the Carolina Panthers. 6, Derrick Henry. The Bears have really struggled against the run, but the last 2 games, they seem to shore that up just a little bit in the Commanders and the Saints in back-to-back games. But this is Derrick Henry we're talking about. So I think he's going to have a good game. 7, Rachaad White. And if you are a Bucky Irving owner, you should be thanking your lucky stars. Unlike last week, where he was not ruled out until Saturday, they've already ruled him out of this game in week number 8. So you can move him into your IR spot. You can free up a roster spot. Instead of like last week, where you had to hold on to him, even though you knew he wasn't going to play until Saturday. And then you can't drop Bucky Irving because he's going to get picked up. So it was just, thank you, Todd Bowles, for fluing him out early. 8, Javonte Williams. He's one of the good feel-good stories of the season so far, and he goes up against his former team. He's going to get that revenge dagger. Go to Javonte Williams, going up against the Denver Broncos. I love it, man. 9, Josh Jacobs of the Green Bay Packers. 10, DeAndre Swift of my Chicago Bears. And then my outside looking in, Keyshawn Jenkins coming off a 3-touchdown performance in that beatdown of the Miami Dolphins. And then Devon Achane. I'm way lower on Devon Achane than you are. He's been terrible running the football. The only way his value has been sustained is because he's so useful out of the backfield. I own him in a league. I'm 1-6 in the league that I own him in, and it's a rough go. If I could trade him away, I guess something like remotely decent for him, I 100% would. I'm tired of him. I hate it.
He's had the splash plays though.
But actually running the football, he's been abysmal. His value has been sustained completely by his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. Like he's not averaging. Like it's just nobody can run the ball in Miami. It's just terrible. And then Rico Dowell, a little bit his production went down a little bit last week with the resurgence of Chuba Hubbard. But I still think he's a top 13 guy. Chuba Hubbard might eat into his carries a little bit, but Rico Dowell is on a burner right now. I don't think you can go away from him. And then my sneaky day, I got Justice Hill at 4,500. He's the pass catching option there for the Baltimore Ravens. Justice Hill and then Ollie Gordon at 4,300. I think he could hawk a touchdown in that game. He seems to get the goal line carries. Also, he seems to be the more effective running back as opposed to Devon Achane, who's more of an effective wide receiver at the running back position.
You're off on Devon Achane, David.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
I gotta call you out. I own him too.
The
last 3 out of 4 games, over 80 yards out of the last 3 out of 4 games. Last 2 games,
most of that came on one play in both of those games.
That's all you need.
Like his actual performance, like you watch the Achane run the football. It's hard to watch.
Well, that's what I said. I said the splash plays. You get 2 yards again, 2-3 yards, and then boom, 50-yarder to get to 80 yards.
His value is in the receiving game. He's a better receiver.
But he hasn't done it. Back. I mean, I agree, but he hasn't shaken anything like big in the receiving game. He's only had He's had 5 catches. The last game he only had 5. He only had 3 catches for 16 yards. The game before that he had 4 catches for 22 yards. The game before that he only had 30 yards and a touchdown off of 6 catches. I guess for PPR's sake, that's great. Yeah, running the football, he's been a lot more effective.
I'm just out on Devon Achane right now.
He's out on Devon Achane. There's no convincing him. Okay. All right. Cool.
I got him at 12. And then Ollie Gordon, I think, is somebody you can roll the dice on. Talking about running backs, let's swing over into the wide receivers. I got Rashee Rice at number 1, going up against a very banged up Washington Commander team. I think Rashee Rice, we saw his coming out party. I talked about this last week with how cheap he was at DraftKings. Just book him now because you're never going to see him that cheap again, and that's absolutely the truth. Because his number is skyrocketed. How valuable he is on DraftKings. And then I got him at number 1. AJ Brown at number 2. I think this is going to be a game where he probably gets a little bit, goes off a little bit there for AJ Brown. 3, Justin Jefferson. Hopefully Carson Wentz takes something out of the Joe Flacco playbook. Just target him 1,000 times. Just target him over and over and over again. 4, Jamar Chase. 4, Jamar Chase. 5, Drake London of the Atlanta Falcons. I like that matchup going up against the Miami Dolphins. 6, Rome Odunze of my Chicago Bears. Like that matchup for him going up against the Baltimore Ravens, who have been abysmal on defense for the majority of the season. Number 7, CeeDee Lamb. A little bit lower on CeeDee Lamb than the kind of consensus, but play PS2 is probably going to check him for majority of the game. I do think CeeDee Lamb is still going to get his, so that's why he's still in my top 10. But I think if you're expecting top 5 value out of CeeDee Lamb, I think that's probably a little bit rich for me. 8, Cortland Sutton of the Denver Broncos. 9, Zay Flowers of the Baltimore Ravens going up against my Chicago Bears. 10, Jalen Waddle. He's been okay since Tyreek Hill has gone out. Been pretty solid. And then my outside looking in, I got Tedero McMillan of the Carolina Panthers, DK Metcalf of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then Wan'Dale Robinson of the New York Football Giants. He's been just absolutely on a tear basically ever since Malik, will you be my neighbor? Neighbors got injured. Wishing him a speedy recovery. But Wan'Dale Robinson has been really solid, especially last week. He was really good against that game against Denver. And then my sneaky daily, I got Tez Johnson at 4,300. And then I think it's Kamir Dyke for the wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans at 3,400. Got a touchdown last week. I think you can roll the dice with him again, as I think Calvin Ridley's still out. And that offense is just that offense.
Kamir Dyke. That's the one I just don't know who that is. So interesting. You got one on me. You got one on me, buddy. You got one on me.
He plays for the Titans.
Yeah, you got one on me. And number one, Jamar, I'm always getting open. Chase is that number one. As long as Joe Flacco is there, it looks like he doesn't care if he's double team, triple team. The ball is going up. It's going to Jamar Chase. He's doing the chase ratio. You guys ever know the Randy ratio? What's the chase ratio? The more times you throw to Jamar Chase, good things happen. And 9 out of 10 times he'll come down with it if you put it up there right. Joe Flacco's really just – I saw it against Green Bay. He was looking super comfortable back there in that offense. He looks super comfortable. Jamar Chase is loving it right now. At number 2, Justin Jefferson. I don't believe J.J. McCarthy will be playing. Is he playing, David?
No, it's Carson
Wentz.
Wentz.
He's not. It's going to be Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is the same effect, right? He's getting it to Justin Jefferson. Just like
both of those guys. Jordan Addison's been money too. But,
I know. It's really crazy. Yeah. So yeah, Carson Wentz is it's like the older quarterbacks, the veterans. They know. Let me get it to my two, horses out there. Yeah, bell cows out there, wide receiver. At number 3, Rashee Rice. I mean, he jumps up from not being ranked. I didn't know what his role was going to be in the offense last week to top 5 wide receiver, bro. Like he looks like. Obviously he's fresh because it's the suspension. And then he just seamlessly just went into the offense and just was the best wide receiver from the get-go. It was not even close of who was the number 1 throwing receiving option for Patrick Mahomes. It was Rashee Rice. He's definitely a top 3 guy. At number 4, Mecca Ibuka, keep a question mark on him, dealing with some injury stuff. Hopefully, I think he will play young enough. Should get through that. Rub some dirt on a kid. Top 4 wide receiver this week. At number 5, CeeDee Lamb. Just like David said, he'll probably have Patrick Surtain second on him majority of the game. Is that going to stop Dak from throwing the CeeDee Lamb the ball? Not at all. But is it going to slow him down a little bit? Possibly. That's why he's number 5 on the list. And then number 6, Courtland Sutton. Yeah, number 1 wide receiver threat for Denver. I have no doubt that Courtland will get open against that defense. Number 7, I got Drake London. 8, Rome Odunze. You know what? Rome probably should be a little higher.
Wide receiver 1 in Chicago right now.
Yeah, definitely. And he probably should be a little higher on my list. I ain't even gonna lie.
I think he's good.
I like him at 8. I like him at 8.
I don't
you
know.
Got him at 6.
I don't know who you drop him ahead of. I like
maybe Drake London.
I like Drake. I think I like Drake London and his matchup better than Rome Odunze.
That's true. I'll give you that, David. But Rome going up against that Baltimore. Baltimore has just been terrible defensively. At number 9, DK Metcalf. You just know Aaron Rodgers is going to find him this weekend against the Green Bay Packers. And then number 10, AJ Brown going against the Giants. He had him and Devontae Smith had excellent games last week. With Jalen Hurts.
Devontae Smith especially did. Whew.
Well, yeah, Devontae Smith was lights out. And then around him outside, I got T. Higgins, Lab McConkey, and Xavier Worthy. So 2 sets of wide receivers for 2 teams in the top 13, the Bengals and the Chiefs in my top 13. And my cheap option in FanDuel is Kendrick Bourne at 5,900. Who just seems
you're still riding that Kendrick Bourne bagwagon. That's
I am. I'm riding it. I mean, what did he have? He had a decent game last week. I mean, I'm not gonna go away from if he had an all right game. I mean, what did he have? I think he had about 10 catches. Look at here what he had. He had. Oh no, he didn't have a good game. No, that was the week before. He had 5 catches. Last week he had 2 catches against Atlanta.
Yeah, but they were the best 2 catches of the game.
That were they?
I don't know.
Crazy. Anyways, let me get Kendrick Bourne at 5,900. I like that matchup against Houston. And then at 5,100, if you're looking for something, if Emeka Egbuka doesn't go, Cameron Johnson, who's like the 4th wide receiver in Tampa Bay, he had him some nice runs when Emeka kind of was like a little hampered in the second half there.
He caught a touchdown, and like when Emeka Egbuka first got hurt in that game against I don't even remember who they played. But he got a touchdown in that week, and he's like the quicker, faster, speedier receiver of those. Like he said, I think if Egbuka doesn't play, I think all of those guys are worth playing. Sterling Shepard too, who I didn't really mention, but he's a guy.
They played. It was Detroit.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the week before that, because that's when he got his touchdown.
Oh yeah, that's when he got San Francisco. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So if Cameron, if Emeka Egbuka is not even there, I mean, godly, they're going to be wide receiver by committee. He's a guy to look out for. So.
100% agree with you. Moving on from the wide receiving pass catchers, let's talk about them bulkier pass catchers, tight end.
Yes, tight end number 1 is Tyler Warren.
Man, we got the same guys at 1 and 2. I mean,
absolutely.
How can you go away from Tyler Warren right now, especially since Trey McBride's on a bye?
Yes, Tyler Warren and Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft, I mean, they probably been hearing us on the show. Doubt it, but they've been hearing me scream about utilizing Tucker Kraft more, and he was utilized all right last week. One of the best fantasy tight ends, probably the best fantasy tight end last week. And number 3, we got Jake Ferguson. Yes, he's turned into a top 5 tight end this year. That offense, just clicking on all cylinders. CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, just have been on the tear this year. At number 4, we got Dallas Goedert. At 5, Travis Kelce, and then 6, George Kittle. I'm not sure. Did he come back last week, or this is his first week back?
No, this is his second week back. So
second week back, yeah.
Yeah, he just didn't really seem like he was really in the flow of the offense the first week back. Kind of was doing a lot of blocking too, which can be, take it as what he will. But I think this is the week where they really integrate him back into the offense.
Absolutely. And then me and David have the same guy at 7, Oronde Gadsden, who I think, honestly, if we're gonna be real here, I think he actually had the best game of all tight ends last week. If I'm not mistaken, David, he had 7 catches, 164 yards, and a touchdown. So they might have been better than Tucker Kraft, who had 58 yards and a touchdown.
He was actually he was tied. So Tucker Kraft didn't even make the top 5.
Yeah, he did. No, I just saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was Trey McBride and Oronde Gadsden, who both had 29.4 fantasy points last week.
Woo.
With Pat Freiermuth having 28 fantasy points.
Yeah, Pat had a really good game. Yeah, man, Oronde Gadsden, that's 2 weeks in a row. He's looking, and he's a former wide receiver turned tight end. So this is a guy, man. I'm telling you, man. I mean, you put more weapons around Justin Herbert, man. He'll find a way to get him the ball. But anyways, Rondo Gadsden at number 7, and at number 8 we got Dalton Kincaid. 9, Evan Ingram. I believe that's a matchup going up against the Dallas Cowboys for the Denver Broncos. Correct. And then round my top 10, we got a first. This is the first all season. We got Bobby Schultz's cousin, Dalton Schultz, has made the top 10 in tight end rankings. And
if everybody else in Houston is going to be hurt.
Yes. Everybody else in Houston is hurt. I mean, no Nico Collins probably this week, maybe the concussion.
No Joe Mixon probably this season.
No Joe Mixon, no nothing. You had the week against Baltimore. I could see it. He had 5 catches, 68 yards. They had a bye week. 9 catches on 10 targets. He was catching everything. He was the only guy that was catching everything damn near. 98 yards. The only thing he was missing was a touchdown in the red zone. As Houston was absolutely abysmal. I wasn't on the show yesterday. They were absolutely abysmal. And I think I talked about it possibly. No, because that was the Monday night game. We didn't talk about. I didn't talk about it. They were abysmal in the red zone. And so I was just saying they were terrible in the red zone. So that was
all right, Charles Barkley, calm down.
And then I'm outside looking. I got Hunter Henry, Kyle Pitts, and Mark Andrews with Lamar Jackson coming back. I like Mark Andrews. And my cheap option in FanDuel is 5,100. I got Noah Fant and 5,100. Dalton Schultz, Bobby Schultz's cousin, Dalton Schultz, makes the list twice. He's my option in FanDuel, and he's in the top 10 for tight ends, baby.
Moving over from your tight ends, let's talk about mine. First two guys, exactly the same. Tyler Warren and Tucker Kraft, 1 and 2. Get used to seeing Tyler Warren as the number 1 tight end when it comes to my rankings. He's been in everything you could have asked for when you draft the tight end in the first round. This is the kind of production you want to see out of him. Bears. 3, George Kittle. Yeah, I think he'll be more involved in the passing game this week. I think he did a lot of blocking in week number 7, so I don't think that'll be the case in week number 8. Number 4, Jake Ferguson, still a top 5 tight end, even with CeeDee Lamb back in the mix. Evan Ingram has a really nice target share there in Denver. Kind of become passing option number 2, right behind Cortland Sutton. Number 6, Travis Kelce, really rounding into form there for the Kansas City Chiefs in that offense. Rondo Gadsden II has become tight end 1 there for the Los Angeles Chargers. And as long as they continue to throw the football as much as they are with Justin Herbert, he's going to be a valuable option. Dallas Goedert just continues to get touchdowns, like whatever it is, just Dallas Goedert gets in the end zone. Kyle Pitts Sr., I like how they're using him in this passing game, just for that, the escape valve for Michael Penix Jr. If he could get into the end zone a little more often, he'd have some really good fantasy value. And then 10, Mark Andrews. Yeah, I expect Lamar Jackson to come back. I think Mark Andrews' value goes back up. And then outside looking in, Theo Johnson, who caught a crazy touchdown in that loss to the Denver Broncos. But I think that's like 5 touchdowns in 6 games for Theo Johnson. So the guy's been one of the targets that Jackson Dart's been looking for. So Theo Johnson's a guy that I feel pretty safe about rolling the dice with. And Cade Otton is going to step into a more advanced pass, just a receiver role with the loss of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin still not being up to snuff coming off that injury. So Cade Otton's a guy that I'm rolling the dice on. I think I'd like Cade Otton if you have him for the remainder of the season. I think Cade Otton's a pretty good option. And then Dalton Kincaid dealing with a little bit of an injury. So if you have Dalton Kincaid, I probably would have Dawson Knox on the ready. So you could start him if you need to, just in case Dalton Kincaid is not able to go in that game against the Carolina Panthers. And then my sneaky and daily, I got Cade Otton at 3,400, and then Isaiah Likely at 2,600. Should be back off his own injury. He came back in 2 weeks, but kind of mediocre value. With Lamar Jackson back, Isaiah Likely could have some value. It's worth rolling the dice on at 2,600 for Isaiah Likely, who was good in fantasy for at least the first couple of weeks last season before Mark Andrews kind of stepped in and was like, hey, I'm still the guy. So there you go. But yeah, that's all the offensive rankings. Let's swing over into the other side of the football. Let's talk about defense. Number 1 is the New England Patriots going up against hold on, I forgot who they're playing.
Going against is it not Tennessee? It's
the Browns. Sorry, they're going up against the Cleveland
yeah.
Browns and Dylan Gabriel. Kansas City Chiefs going against Marcus Mariota and the Washington Commanders. Philadelphia Eagles going up against Jackson Dart and the New York Football Giants. The Bills going up against Andy Dalton and the Carolina Panthers. You picked up on a theme here. Usually if there's a backup quarterback going up against a backup quarterback or a rookie quarterback, to start those defenses against those teams. Indianapolis Colts going against Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans. Probably a little bit low on the Colts, if I'm being completely honest with you, given what the Tennessee Titans have looked like on offense and how good the Colts have been so far this season. But got them at 5. And then my outside looking in, I got the San Francisco 49ers going up against sorry, man, my brain is just out there.
Niners going against Houston.
Houston Texans, who offense looks like a train wreck right now. The Atlanta Falcons going up against Miami Dolphins, who can't stop turning it over. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the New Orleans Saints and Spencer Rattler. And then my sneaky and daily, this is a deep plug. I probably will not be doing this in my own drafting or my own gambling if I do decide to gamble this week. But the Ravens at 2,800. If the Ravens are ever going to get into form, if they're ever going to rebound and like look like the defense that we all kind of thought they'd be on paper, this has to be the game. They're coming off the bye. They're going to get Lamar Jackson back. They're getting Roquan Smith back, who's finally practicing. 2,800. If the Ravens are ever going to play well this season, especially on the defensive side of the ball, it has to be in week number 8 against the Chicago Bears, or this season will go into the toilet. So pressure's on, Ravens.
The toilets. Anyways,
you know what's crazy? Like, man, I had the Ravens as my the going to the Super Bowl this season. I never imagined that their defense would be so bad. It'd be like virtually unplayable in fantasy. Like, I don't remember a time where the Ravens were just sitting there in free agency. You could just pick them up and start them willy-nilly. Like, it's crazy. Like, if the Ravens don't turn it around this week, their season will be over.
Well, yeah. I mean, for sure, their season's over with, and that's why they're rushing Lamar back. I don't even think he's 100% healthy, to be honest. And I thought, and honestly, this is Harbaugh's last year. They're gonna get a new voice in there.
No, they're not.
You don't think so? I think so, and that's totally fine. But I just think that defense. They thought that defense was good enough. Is something missing?
I thought it was good enough too. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I was okay, but what the hell is Roquan Smith doing? He ain't doing jack. They don't got pass rushers.
He's been hurt for majority of the season, but
no, that's true.
Their pass rush has been super not effective. Their secondary, their vaunted secondary that I thought was going to be hyper elite has just not been. Like I don't.
Indianapolis Colts at number 1 for me. Yes. Going up against Tennessee, I mean, I don't care who's back there coaching them. Cam Ward is going through rookie pains.
Man, he's on pace to break David Carr's record for sacks in a season.
Well, he holds on to the ball too much, and I've said that since even when he was in college. And number 2,
the dude's getting killed back there.
Oh, he's been getting. Honestly, I think he's going to be a bust, David. That's just me. Anyways, and number 2, New England going up against Cleveland, going up against another rookie quarterback. That New England defense has been great. Then we got Buffalo going into Carolina to face the Carolina Panthers. Actually, that might be a trap game. Ooh,
Andy Dalton though.
Yeah, I know. Andy Dalton.
Oh,
man,
we got a quick trade.
I was offered Drake May.
Let's put it up on the screen. He was offered Drake May, Pittman, Bucky Irving, Drake May for CeeDee Lamb. I'm 3 and McLaurin. So what do you mean McLaurin?
Oh, so they offered him Drake May, Pittman, Bucky, and McLaurin for CeeDee Lamb.
I'd probably do that. I mean, I guess.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah! I'm doing that. Hell yeah, for one guy. What? I guess Drake May. Well, who's your quarterback? I guess does it make sense to have a quarterback that you're not going to start? Are you going to even start Drake May, or is he just going to sit on your?
Yeah, you're for sure starting Drake May. There's only 3 guys I want for the remainder of the season over Drake May.
Yeah, but what if he has Patrick Mahomes, or if he has Jalen Hurts?
Well, he's 3 and 4. The CeeDee Lamb, I mean, you're 3 and 4. The CeeDee Lamb hasn't played in 3 weeks. Imagine 3 of your losses came during that time.
Yes.
But I mean, if you Bucky Irving, who's that's a first round pick in most leagues for Bucky Irving, and when he comes back, he's going to be running back 1. We're only a few weeks away from that. I mean, they got their bye the week after this one, so he should be back after that. I'm doing this in heart. I think this is a good trade. I think Michael Pittman Jr. is a good receiver. If you're getting McLaurin back, he has sneaky value too when he returns from his injury. I would make this trade. But
I would do that too. I would make the trade too. I would make that trade as well. In a heartbeat. Maybe
not in a heartbeat, but I would be.
I mean, dude, you're getting Bucky Irving when he comes back, especially if his team's going to make the playoffs in a late playoff push. Bucky Irving's going to come back in maybe a week next week. You're going to have Michael Pittman Jr. is not bad. Who else? McLaurin's going to come back. Yeah, I mean, bro. I mean, you're getting a lot back for one guy. At number 4, I got the Eagles going up against the New York Giants.
If you have a Justin Herbert at the quarterback position, or you're one of those people that have Jaden Daniels, I would rather have Drake May for the rest of the ride.
Right.
So
right. Me too.
The other thing is so you're taking on 4 guys there. Who would you drop? because in that scenario, like you'd have to drop 3 guys. So who would be the guys you would drop in those scenarios? I mean,
I don't know what his team is. Probably a bunch of bullshit. Probably he's got like 2 defenses and 2 kickers.
Let's hope not.
Stupid shit like that. And number 4, the Eagles going against the Giants, and then I got the Bengals. With their matchup against the Jets. I don't care who's quarterback for the Jets. And my outside looking, I got the Chiefs going against Washington, Chargers, Falcons. Chiefs are actually low on my list. They should be probably in the top 5. And my sneaky option in FanDuel is the Falcons at 4,100 going against Miami this week. So.
Also, thank you very much, Tim, for your question on Facebook. We had consensus is, you should make that trade. We were curious who your current quarterback is and who you drop in order to facilitate this trade. If you want to just throw us down in the comments section, if that's you still watching us on Facebook. Again, we appreciate the fan interaction very much.
Absolutely.
And then before we get up out of here, like we do every single week, we will try to predict who's going to be the number 1 scorer in fantasy. But first, do you know who the number 1 scorer in fantasy was this week?
Ooh, this week, Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase was number 3 in PPR scoring format. Number 3.
Number 3. Oh, Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor was number 5. With 34 points.
Okay, top 5.
Jamar Chase at number 3 with 38.1 fantasy points.
All right, so that's 3. That's 5. Rashee Rice.
Rashee Rice was not in the top 10 anywhere.
Okay, it's got to be Gadsden. It's got to be Gadsden and McBride definitely in the top 5.
No, neither of them are in the top 5. Trey McBride, Gadsden at 6 and 7, or 7 and 8, actually.
Drake May, number 1.
Drake May also not in the top. It wasn't Drake May. It wasn't Drake May either.
Christian McCaffrey? Got to be Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey, number 2, at 39.1 fantasy points. He was outdone by one guy, the orchestrator of the biggest comeback of the week last week. Pulling the rabbit out of the hat.
Oh, Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
Oh, no, Justin Herbert. Oh, yeah, it's Bo Nix. Yeah,
Bo Nix at number 1, 39.96 fantasy points. He threw for 2 touchdowns. He ran for 2 more. And then Jahmyr Gibbs was number 4, rounding out that top 5. Nix, McCaffrey, Chase, Gibbs, Taylor. And when it was all said and done in week number 8, who's going to be the number 1 scorer in fantasy this week?
Number 1 scorer in fantasy is going to be Jonathan Taylor. I got Bijan Robinson as number 1, but I got Jonathan Taylor as my number 2 option.
I'm gonna go
number 1.
I'm gonna go Rashee Rice for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he's gonna have a monster game for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm probably gonna be starting him in like all of my daily stuff because I think he's going to have a crazy game. Like he's going to be on a tear right now. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Tim, for your question there on Facebook. We appreciate the fan interaction. This has been our week 8 fantasy football rankings. Thank you very much for checking us out. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast if you like what we're doing here at Prime Sports World. And Izzy, what we do here at the Prime, my friend?
We bring the heat, ladies and gentlemen. Bringing the heat 24/7.
Yes, sir. We will be back here later this week with College Football Showdown. Y'all have a good weekend. I will see you guys next week for Monday Night Football recap and week number 9. It's crazy that we're already that deep into the NFL season.
I know. It goes by fast.
Yep, 100%. Stay safe. We'll see y'all later. Take care.
Peace out, guys.